District 30, California, Mark Reed. Mark Reed is an actor, small businessman, rancher, and an advocate for constitutional government as specified by our founding fathers. He is proud advocate of homelessness, addiction, veteran rights, and legal immigration. He has some interesting views about nuclear deal between Iran and USA as well. Let's welcome Mark Reed from California, District 30. Thank you so much for being here, Mark, and giving us your precious time. Please go ahead and address everybody.
Thank you, Kush, and thank you, USIMPACT, for putting on this forum for everybody to be able to get to know the candidates that are running to be able to represent America. You know, happy Independence Day. Independence and freedom is not passed down from one generation to the next. It's actually fought for from one generation to the next. India knows this in the homeland of India because they just lost 20 soldiers to the skirmishes against China. China is a major threat to the region. This is the first president of the first administration that's actually put his foot down and addressed the issues of unbalanced trade, of the military practices that are not conducive to a cooperation between partnerships throughout the region. India is a very, very strong ally with America, and America is a strong ally with India. However, my opponent actually boycotted and promoted the boycott of Modi's rally in Houston, Texas. This is not what you would call a cooperation. India is a strong partner. China is a strong adversary. China has dominated, and it's told the world it's going to dominate the world by economics, also by military as well. During the administration that Obama had, China became the dominant manufacturer of all generic drugs. They control 86% of all the active ingredients of all generic drugs manufactured throughout the world. India and Pakistan have both recognized this as a national threat. These are the things that this administration is dealing with. My opponent sits on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. He was there when all of these things happened. He promoted it, allowed it to happen. He stands side by side with the current candidate, Joe Biden, and he knows exactly what's happening. For a person to be sitting on the House Foreign Affairs Committee and allowing these things to take place is an atrocity. He is now vying for the chairmanship of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. God help us if he gets that, and God help us if the Democrat leadership stays in power, because that's all they're interested in is power. They're not interested in cooperation between nations. They're not interested in promoting a nation and going up. Now, I have served as a national rep for American Indians because I'm part of Mohawk and Apache. So I say hello and namaste to my fellow Indian Americans as an American Indian. But I've learned the cooperation between nations, between people, just between individuals, becomes the sky's the limit. If you allow this, how would you say, concentration on what divides us rather than what binds us together, you create this massive division. China focuses on that through its Belt and Road Initiative. It will loan the money to build ports, build infrastructure, not because they're trying to help that country, because they want to dominate that country. They want to dominate world trade. This administration, with my help and my support as well, will continue that forward movement. And you can see what happens behind the scenes when you have that real cooperation, the historic signing of the peace treaty, the Abraham Accord between Israel and the UAE. You look at this and you say, wow, what can happen? China's feet needs to be held to the fire. China does not like India. We all know that. China continues to battle and fight for its independence and its freedom, the freedom to choose its own direction of where it wants to go. Here in America, I think all of the predecessors of the candidates that spoke before me, we know that immigration reform, visa reform needs to take place. We know that the racial divide here in America doesn't exist. It's only focused on by the press, because we have a huge Indian American community within the 30th Congressional District, and they are very dominant in the restaurant industry and manufacturing and the businesses. And as the families, the nucleus of the family, India is very strong. The Indian American families are very strong. I share the same. I met my wife when I was 11 years old. I gave her a promise ring at 16 years old. We married at 21 years old. We have 3 adult children, and we have our 11th granddaughter showing up this next month. So we look at it, what are we doing for the next generation? How are we defending the rights and the freedoms of each individual here in America, not as American Indians, not as Indian Americans, Armenians, the Black community, the Asian community, but solely as Americans. We need to foster that cooperation. We need to foster those bridges that bind us together. Because if we continue looking for those little things out of whack, all we're going to do is create divide, we're going to create anarchy, and we're going to create a system and an environment that is not healthy for anybody. Again, my name is Mark Reed. I'm running for the 30th Congressional District. You can go to my website at markreedforcongress.com. We're always looking for volunteers. We're looking for help. We have a good shot at winning this election because the opponent has been an atrocity for the district. He has allowed fundraisers for care for the Muslim Brotherhood in his district. Again, he filed the first impeachment papers against the president, which completely failed. He is not a person who is looking after the district. He is a person who is looking after his own self-interest and power. I want to give representation back to the district. I want to give representation equally to all people in the district, Indian Americans, American Indians, the Black community, the Asian community, whoever is in the district. This is the kind of representation we need, is that bipartisan cooperation, but with conservative ideals and principles and morals. If we don't have those directing us, then where are we going? And we can understand that by truly understanding our Declaration of Independence, truly understanding our Constitution and what Congress should be doing. With that, I want to thank you. Namaste. And I look forward to speaking with you once again.
Thank you so much, Mark. All the best in your congressional district. It's not easy, but all the best in California, and all the insights that you gave on various points that you touched. And yes, Indians would enjoy to listen everything that you mentioned and, go from there. So, and we are here to